and gentlemen, the show is about to begin.
Hello there, and welcome to the True Pop Culture 7 show. I'm your host, True Pop, here to laugh and think about pop culture stupidity. We have a heavy gaming related show today, and I'm in my gaming chair that I finally was able to obtain after sitting like 27 shows on the other uncomfortable piece of shit, and now. I actually shouldn't swear. I just noticed that. Otherwise,
No.
YouTube is gonna put me on the yellow. Oh, that's gonna be a pain. Never mind. It was worth it.
Oh God, I swear like every other word. I'm a sailor, sir. So I'm happy you shot first. You swore first. So I'm unchained.
All right. I that slipped my mind completely. Screw you, YouTube. Anyway, I love this chair, and as maybe you guys couldn't tell, but I've got a new webcam, so very HD. Some technical issues with it, but I'm happy with the way it looks, and I mirrored it as well, so my hand moves where I actually want it to. I hate that it's mirrored. It's just annoying that I want to look at you like that for comedic.
I know. I always like do this thing,
Yeah.
the pointing thing, and I'm like, wait, where's my fingers going?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a whole new upgrade, a whole new setup for the show, and yeah, I'm definitely happy with it. Now I can live stream for hours on end and sit comfortably. So yeah, I'm joined by a very special guest, Melee James. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing great. You just got a new chair. I'm gonna need a new chair. I just played 9 hours straight of Super Mario RPG right here, and we're talking.
Nice.
I know what our topics are a little bit. Here's an example of a good remake. Oh my God, this is freaking amazing! And literally while I'm playing it, I'm noticing I'm like so like dug into this chair. I've had it for a while that like all of a sudden I'm like, why am I feeling pain? And the material on the armrest like cracked, and now when I put my arms down, they're like bleeding. So I'm suffering. I am suffering with you, chat. So I'm doing great. I'm awake because I'm in pain, and I'm ready to talk all things with this absolute madman. I love your setup. I'm excited. I'm excited. Who's that little guy over there on the couch on the pillow there? Below Darth Maul. This guy. Yeah.
Mauler. My favorite YouTuber. Yeah, he does.
Oh, I love Mauler. Mauler's great. I didn't know he had plushies. That's cool.
Yeah, a while ago he released them. I'm gonna there's one releasing of the ER, if you know who that is. He's
yes.
He has a plushie releasing, so I'm gonna collect them all.
The YouTuber
I didn't collect them beforehand because I was poor and they're quite expensive. But yeah,
when are we getting the True Pop plushie? That's what I want. I'm surrounded. I need a True Pop plushie right next to my Gengar right here. He needs a friend. Let's get you right there. Let's do it.
Maybe there'll be a shirt in the future. Who knows?
Oh, yes.
Maybe. Long man, good lol. Yeah. Exactly.
Love
Long
your
man,
avatar.
good.
That's beautiful, Long Man. Or
Yeah.
Nathan. You're just saying Long Man, good. Nathan, beautiful avatar.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a reason why the Long Man, because he makes long videos. That's kind of the meme.
Oh yes. It's been a while, but I always said his my most hated movie of all time ever is The Force Awakens, and his like review of it is like 3 times as long as the movie, and it's like 10 times more enjoyable. So I've watched that Force Awakens review many a times, and God,
yeah,
just to remind myself of the pain. I think he talks like 2 hours just on the opening crawl, and I'm like, this is perfect. And his what is it? Justice League review? Oh my God, he's like the only person that agrees with me in the world. I hate
the Snyder cut.
I hate Zack Snyder, and the Joss Whedon cut superior is not good, but it's superior. Fight me, internet. I have a lot of
Yeah.
I rile up a lot of Zack Schneider bots on the Twitters.
Yeah, you're in welcome crowd because I do not like Zack Snyder, but
Good.
I don't know if I agree that Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League is better than. I think both
No,
of them
Joss
have
Whedon's
their
is better.
strengths.
I like Joss Whedon's better.
Joss Whedon has more character in it, more character conflict.
Yeah.
Snyder's makes more sense to watch and keep track of.
But the thing is, it's like, what's superior? Oh my god, I'm already trailing the show. I'm sorry, but it's like, what's superior? Cyborg, the character nobody likes. Oh, good, I get more of a useless, pointless character that nobody in the world cares about. Raise your hand if you're a Cyborg fan. No one ever.
I like him. I don't hate the guy. I mean, if you've seen the animated Teen Titans show, he was good in that. He's good in everything.
Fair. I've never watched Teen Titans. I've never watched Teen Titans. I love Bruce Timm's Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, but I've actually never watched Teen Titans, so that's fair.
I mean, his famous catchphrase, "Booyah." The actor made us think about it and said it's a racist thing to say for some reason.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
I just loved how casually you delivered that booyah. That was the best booyah, because it's like, how do you say booyah like so nonchalant and neutral? And so your delivery of the word booyah, that was like the best booyah I have ever heard. It's such like an aggressive word, and you're just like, booyah. It's like you're announcing, if you're like pronouncing it properly. I love it.
I disagree, but everyone can have their own opinion. No big deal.
That's fair.
Would you be disagreeing with James or with me? Okay, with me, I'm kicking you out of the chat if you disagree with me. How dare you?
No, that's fine. I think, I'm the only person that likes I always say that Joss Whedon is my favorite man that I hate in Hollywood, because I hate everyone in Hollywood, but I like his content.
Dude.
And so yeah.
We will get to the first segment of the show, and then I'll talk about. That'll be a good thing to talk about, because the first segment of the show is not the news topic. It's sucked into pop culture, and we just discuss things we've consumed pop culture wise in the last 2 weeks or so. So it can be anything: games, movies, series, anything you've played. You've just said you've played the Mario, so I'll ask you a bit about that. Let me find a clip. There we go.
And finally, the piece de resistance.
Yeah, so sucked into pop culture. I have been watching some Firefly.
Let's go! Oh my god,
it's pretty good.
Taste.
It's pretty good. I've watched like Buffy and Angel. Yeah, first time. So yeah, I just thought it's Whedon. He knows how to write characters, especially watching like Avengers. Yeah, and I'm definitely enjoying it. But the budget on this thing is making me laugh sometimes. Like, good God. They kind of want to make it like a sci-fi western.
Yes.
I'm just like, sometimes I think, why is this a sci-fi western? Like the guns, they need to look more sci-fi to me. I'm sorry if it constantly looks like a I can't remember what's the gun called, like the where you put like 6 chambers in it.
Oh, a revolver.
Yeah, if it looks like a revolver, I'm sorry, we're not set in the future here. No one uses revolvers, and I doubt they'll be used in the future. So
it's kind of like Star Wars in the original trilogy, where it's sci-fi in the future, but everyone's poor and depressed, and so it's sci-fi, but technology fucking sucks and everything's worse. Oh yeah, sorry for swearing. Damn it, Susan.
Damn it, Susan.
I can't not swear. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. They always put me on yellow. I have to reboot it, and in a week they just, oh yeah, sure, we'll give you the green. And it's just annoying like that. But it's just pennies, so
it's the worst. But yeah, no, Firefly had such a wild freaking time being on air. And the reason Firefly was so good was because it was under constant threat of being canceled. I don't know if you know all the lore, but it was like constantly under threat of being canceled. So Joss Whedon had like 3 seasons planned, but he was so terrified of it being canceled, he just put like his 10 best. He was like, this one will save the show. So if you're wondering why the show is so good, it's just like it's like a best of, and it's so jam-packed with quality. And if you watch it back originally when it aired, like they were moving the show around, like it would air at this time and then suddenly it would air at this time on this day, and so the fans couldn't track it, and then they'd be like, well, no one's watching your show, and it's like, yeah, because no one knows when it's going to air. Like, what? And so it's only like after the show was done and it got like VHS DVD release or more DVD releases and all that stuff that people were like, oh my god, this is great, but there was no way to properly watch it while it was live.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's a shame.
yeah, so it was a mess. It's probably the #1 most requested show to come back. It's never gonna come back, I don't think. Well,
Yeah,
maybe
there
in a
was
reboot,
a
but nobody
Serenity
cares.
movie. Yeah, like Nathan just saying that, like, hey, like they watched Serenity. What is that? Is that after the show? Does that
Yes.
take place? Okay.
Yes.
So I'll
Oh,
finish the show then watch Serenity.
I
Okay.
feel so bad for Nathan because yeah, they pretty much pulled a Twin Peaks, as I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan, where they made a movie after the show got canceled where they're like, well, damn, we had a story to tell, and we have this fan base. Let's at least quickly wrap it up. And it's like, this isn't what we wanted, but hey, we can at least kind of give it a send off. So that's you're not the only one, Nathan. I've heard other people say they watched Serenity because it had like it was a proper film release and they didn't even know Firefly existed. So it's like, who are these characters? What? And it's like, no, you're watching the ending. It's like a 2-hour finale, really. Like, oh
Okay.
god. And so yeah, I'm glad you're watching Firefly first because they treated Serenity, like Joss Whedon treated Serenity to be like, this is it. And it is still, that's all there is 1 season and a movie. So, oh my god, the stuff that goes down in Serenity. I'm excited to hear your take on Serenity. It gets crazy, dude.
All right, I'll eventually get through it, but yeah. For the other thing that I've been watching, I've set myself a homework to watch all the Harry Potter movies for my next live stream on Tuesday with Blabbering Collector. He's a great big Harry Potter nerd, so I thought I've read the books before, but I've only seen bits and pieces of the movies. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna watch a movie a day, and just go through all of them. And I've been really enjoying them. They're great.
Which one's your favorite so far?
I'm on Order of the Phoenix. Just finished that.
Yeah.
It's probably Prisoner of Azkaban because I just love the dynamic between the dark arts teacher and Harry, and him teaching him how to conquer his fear. You know, the mentors, the boggart, all that stuff. Just really, it's cinematic. It's cinema. I really, that really engages me. Well, all the other teacher interactions, they're not as good, I would say. I don't know. There was something that fascinates me about Harry facing his fears. And yeah, the reveal of the Godfather as well and stuff like that. Heavily underused character. They just get rid of him, Sirius Black, and to me that was such a letdown in the books and in the movies. Like, especially if you cast Gary Oldman, like use him more at least. Like,
in my opinion, maybe the best working actor alive today. Like, oh my god, Gary Oldman's legendary.
Yeah, and I'm seeing like so many, not English but UK based actors in the Harry Potter movies. I was just like, hey, that's David Tennant. I had no idea this guy was in freaking Harry Potter movies. How is this possible?
It is crazy how star-studded they are, right? Like, I actually only watched them for the first time in anticipation for Hogwarts Legacy because anytime somebody gets mad at something on the internet, I get interested. And so I'm like, oh, people are mad that this exists. And so I never watched Harry Potter or read Harry Potter as a kid because I had this weird thing as a kid. I still kind of do, but I was like, I hated things starring children as a kid. And I'm like, no, I want grizzled old men in my media. That's what I enjoy as a 7-year-old boy is grizzled old men. I don't, because there is always this thing of like, we make kid things for kids. And I'm like, no, I like my Wolverine. I want like cigar smoking, whiskey drinking old men. I don't want little boys. And so I hated Harry Potter as a kid. I hated it. And so for Hogwarts Legacy, I binge watched them all, similar how you are for Blabs. I binge watched them all in a freaking week. And I'm like, oh, they're actually pretty good. My bad. My bad, childhood me. They're pretty, yeah.
Yeah. That was I was similar, although I did have like a weird prejudice against child actors.
Children?
I suppose. Yeah. I just hated it because everyone else liked it. You know.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you know what I hated? What I hated was every teacher loved it. Did you have
Yeah.
that where it was like
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
teacher was like, we all have to love Harry Potter, fiddly dee. And
Yeah.
I'm over here liking Star Wars and Vader. And I'm like, no, in my media, we kill kids. That's what we do. Anakin murders everybody.
Yeah, it always seemed to me like you know, like kind of like what's this? Just two happy-go-lucky wizards with broomsticks. That's just silly.
So whimsical. It
But-
oozes whimsy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know, everyone has this like strange love of it, but because I was a bit of a bookworm, and I read like a skullduggery fantasy series, really into that. That's gone to shit now. I'm not gonna touch that book series. And then I saw this is how I got into Harry Potter. So I was like browsing through the library and I saw like the Cursed Child front cover. I'm like, that's interesting. There's a sci-fi, it looks kind of dangerous, but hang on. I have this image of childish Harry Potter in my head. Why is this so serious?
Yes.
Do I need to read the other 7 books to read this book? Probably I do, just because the front cover looks cool. So that's what I
Oh my
started.
God, those covers,
reading all
man.
7
That was
books.
my childhood with Goosebumps. So I totally relate. It's just like a good cover will get a kid into reading 100%.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I totally understand that. I wouldn't even like the movies, for the record, if it wasn't for Alan Rickman as Snape. Like
Oh, yeah.
he carries those films on his freaking back, dude. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Right until the very end. I love
The
that.
books want you so hard to hate him. The movie
Mm-hmm.
is not. I don't hate Snape. I really don't. You know, I don't have a. I know Harry dislikes him, but I really don't hate the guy.
Every time in the film that he physically beats Harry, I'm just in heaven. Like, he'll literally like take a rolled up newspaper and he's like, listen here. And he starts beating him. And I'm like, I love you. You're amazing. My
Yeah.
most hated one, though, I have to say, you haven't gotten to my favorite yet.
Okay.
I've only seen them all once, but my most hated one was the Olympics one. What was the Magic
Goblet
Olympics?
of Fire?
I hated Goblet of Fire. I hated
I like
it.
the ending.
I hate, because it's like, here's the lore up to this point is like Harry Potter's a special boy and he's the one that can maybe kill our arch villain and all this stuff. We have to protect him and keep him safe because he's just a little baby. He's a sweet little baby. Let's make the Death Olympics where we have all these kids do tricks and drown them. And we're all adults like eating popcorn. And it's like, yeah, why don't you go somersault through fire and then drown yourself, Harry? And then Harry enters it, and the part where Dumbledore is like screaming at him is like so out of character, because like up until that point,
Did you put your hand in the Goblet of Fire? Yeah.
yeah, but like up until that point, Dumbledore's a sweet old man that looks like he'd give you like a Tootsie Pop or something and say how many licks. But like at that point, when he's just like, "What did you do, Harry? What did you do?" and he's like violently shaking him, and even Snape is like settled down, and he's like, "Not now, Snape. I'm talking to Harry." And it's just like, what is this film? Listen to me,
Yeah.
Harry. We're
And Ron
gonna
was an
drown your
arsehole for some reason.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so it's kind of funny, but I was like, where did the director do acid? Like, what's going on? So
Yeah.
that was my
That's
least
understandable.
liked one.
Least liked one, I think, for me is Order of Phoenix.
I don't even
It has some
remember it,
good, but
honestly.
it's with the teacher who's a absolute biatch, and she puts all these
the tea sipping one, the one that's all prim and
with the
proper.
proper
Yes.
the cat ladies, and it's just like, good God, this is so boring. I don't care about the school elements of Harry Potter. You know, I like the teachers and whatnot, but it's not the school itself that interests me, really. It's more so the character dynamics and the magic and stuff like that. I didn't
I
like
like the
school stuff.
adults better than the kid, like Helena Bottom Carter's character, and like you haven't like, so I won't say anything on it because you haven't gotten to it. But my favorite films were the last ones, Deathly Hallows 1 and 2.
Okay.
And I won't say why, but I was like, those movies were like next level. My second favorite was the second one with Dobby in it. I don't remember which
Chamber
one
of Secrets?
Yeah, I just thought that one was funny. It was because they all had like different directors, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the comedic timing in that second movie, Chamber of Secrets, I don't know if anyone knows, but it was just like that director had a really good sense of comedic timing. Like there's the part where Dobby like says something mildly wrong and he just starts bashing his head against a drawer, and it's like, what are you doing? And it's so funny. And like the whole movie just has this like air of like, we know this is stupid and we're just having fun with it. And so I liked that one, but I loved Deathly Hollows. Like that
Okay.
Deathly Hollows made up for the entire mediocrity prior for me, because the series was up and down, and then you have Dumbledore drowning children halfway through. But yeah, Deathly Hollows, man, I can't wait to hear your take on those ones, because I think some people didn't like those films, the 1 and 2, but I thought they were the best. And then
Okay.
don't even bother watching Wizard, what is it, the Dr. Dolittle ones? Those are terrible.
Oh, the whatever they're called with yeah.
They're
I
rough,
can't remember the
man.
name with Johnny
Yeah.
Depp and then whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they replaced Johnny Depp because of the
Yeah.
Amber Heard controversy, and it's so stupid. They're a
Yeah.
mess. The first one's like watchable, and then 2 and 3 are like, I thought I was dumb I think it was the second one where I was watching and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Am I dumb? Am I drinking? And I looked up reviews, and all the reviews are like, what, that there was words on the screen, but they didn't add up. Like everyone's like, that was just nonsense. What? And so yeah, don't watch the Dr. Dolittle Harry Potter movies. Thank
Yeah.
you, Kay. Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's funny that we forgot the name. Anyway, James,
Yes.
what did you consume pop culture wise in the last
I'm
week or so?
consuming so hard. Let's see. What have I done lately? Let me pull up my phone out of Gengar here. My movie watch list is in the 3000s, so I have to track everything that I watch and read. Let's see. I don't know why, I've been watching all the old Garfield specials lately. Have you seen the old Garfield specials from the 80s starring
No, I don't know.
Oh, they're lovely. Starring Lorenzo Music as Garfield.
Have you been watching that because of the new Chris Pratt trailer and you just thought
Yeah, kinda, because I watched that trailer and I actually thought the trailer looked pretty nice, and I was like, oh, and I like Chris Pratt. I'm a Chris Pratt fan. I don't love his Garfield voice, but I think the movie itself looks really charming and endearing. And so I'm like, there's only 12 specials. There's only 12 Garfield specials, and then they turn it into a show. So I've been like, let's watch all the Garfield specials. And literally, that first one, Here Comes Garfield, is a literal 10 out of 10. It's 20 minutes long. It's literally, it's amazing. It's amazing. I see why Garfield is so popular now and now infamous, because the first special they did on him is like, this is like magically perfect. This is so nice. This is better than Peanuts, better than, Snoopy and all that. Like, this is so good. And then they kind of teeter off after that. And then it's just like, we get it. You like lasagna, you're a cat. But the first one is called Here Comes Garfield, 10 out of 10. I don't even want to spoil it. It's 20 freaking minutes, everybody. Go watch Here Comes Garfield if you haven't seen it. I'm all the way up to Garfield Goes to Hollywood, where him and John and Odie decide they're going to make money in Hollywood by doing an act, but then John sucks on his guitar, so Garfield destroys his guitar to be like, you're welcome, John. And John's
the
like,
casting couch.
Yeah, and John's like, no, I have to do porn now. So I've been watching that. And then movie-wise, so that's show-wise. Movie-wise, I watched Legend. Have you seen Legend from 1985? I'm an old man. I'm 86 years old, so I only watch old things. So we're getting the Legend of Zelda movie, yeah?
Yeah.
So Legend
with the writer who wrote Jurassic World movies and Rise of Skywalker. He co-wrote them.
It's over. It's so over. So Legend, starring Tim Curry and Tom Cruise, and I am a huge Tim Curry fan. It's been on my list
I've not heard
forever.
of this movie if it's got Tom Cruise in it.
It's one of his earliest films. He looks like a baby in it. But it's sometimes considered like the first Zelda movie, and if you watch it and if you're a Zelda fan, it's like, it's literally a freaking Zelda movie. It's a
Interesting.
mixed bag. It's
Mhm.
Ridley Scott. It's got great visuals in it, great visuals. But and Tim Curry carries the movie on his back, man. Like, he's incredible. Half of the movie you don't even see him. It's just his voice, and it's just like
Mhm.
every time he talks, it's like, yes, Tim, I'll do anything you say, Tim. I love you, Tim. But the plot of the movie and mainly Zelda, the Zelda character is insufferable. You are totally on Ganon's side because Zelda is so stupid and so horrible, and her motivations throughout the whole film don't make sense. Like, she's a manipulative, I'm trying not to swear, lady, a horrible woman, and Tom Cruise is Link effectively. He's like the forest boy in the woods. He's the magical forest boy. And Zelda is like, I'm a princess in a castle, and I go see you, and we have fun times together in the forest so I can forget about my problems. Tra la 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 la. But he's like a dumb little forest boy, so he doesn't know anything, and he's just in love with her because it's the first woman he's ever seen. And so she's like, hey, I love you. Let's get married. And he's like, well, I love you too. And she's like, you have to find my ring. And she throws the ring off a cliff. And he's just like, you telling me if I find that ring, I'm going to marry you? And then he bolts and jumps off. And then she starts crying. And it's like, if he dies, that's your fault. You did that. You know, he's just a sweet little innocent Tom Cruise baby. And then everything goes wrong from there. And then Ganon, aka Tim Curry, comes in and he's like, I'm going to bring eternal darkness to the world. It's a great visual movie.
Mhm.
But plot wise, it's like you hate
All
her.
over. Okay.
Yeah. And
That sounds
so
pretty
yeah,
good.
so my TV has been Garfield, my movies have been Tim Curry, and then my video games, I played this for 9 hours last night.
Nice.
9 hours, and it's really freaking good. I don't like turn-based games, and I don't like JRPGs, but this is a masterpiece game. I'm loving it. I hate the frog people. Everything else in it is amazing. It's beautiful. I don't know actually your tastes in games. I'm kind of curious what your tastes in games are, but
Mhm.
yeah, if you're a Nintendo guy and you haven't played the new Super Mario RPG, it's like so comfy and so like it's like a warm blanket of gaming, and you can those 9 hours just went by so fast last night, and I was just like, oh my god, it's 2 a.m. and I have to go on True Pop show. I just think I should sleep. But yeah, it's just heavenly and lovely and charming. And Mallow, I hate him, the cloud guy right here. This
Mhm.
guy, horrible, but in our suffering of Mallow, you are united, and so it's just lovely. It's a lovely game. So
That
that's
sounds
my
good.
media in a nutshell. That's what I'm consuming. Oh yeah, music. I don't know. I'm wearing a Motorhead shirt. There you go. So
Yeah, you've listed off everything. Well, normally people just list like one or two they can remember. But yeah, that was
bringing me onto the show is a horrible mistake. I'm sorry. I don't shut up. That's the problem.
Hey, listen, we've got 1 hour and 30 minutes. We'll fill it into something. But yeah, let's get to the news topics because we've been 30 minutes and we haven't even touched them. We've got quite a
My
few.
bad.
So
My bad.
hey, no worries. Chat, unfortunately, that clip is a lie. It's not this week's news. It's kind of 2 week news. Ah well, you know what?
Fine.
This past 2 weeks news, this doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? So, you know what? Never mind. We'll just roll with it.
It's new. It's new to me. Therefore, it's new. It's fine.
Before we get into news, let's read some chat in there. Hello, Melee K. I can see you in there. Hi there. We've got Insidious Bliss. Hello, everyone.
How's it
Hi,
going,
how you doing?
Insidious?
Thank you for coming along. And we've got you as well in the chat. Cheers. I think that was. Oh, we've got also Toledo in here. Smashes through the window like a rogue softball. Sup?
And I love how he goes, Harry Potter. Boy, we got the hair every time. Yeah, I know. Harry Potter is that like name where you have to say it in a condescending Monty Python British accent every
Yeah.
single time.
You do. But yeah, it's Harry Potter's great. I enjoy watching it for once. Some good movies for once. But speaking of bad movies, I could not mention this on the show because good God, the Marvels had a 78% drop on its second weekday domestically, the worst of all time for a superhero film.
Yay!
I just wanted to quickly dunk on this historical event because that's what it is. This movie is making history. Captain Jack Sparrow gave me this movie under the piratey tree. I watched it and I felt like I wasted 1 hour and 40 minutes of my life.
I don't know how you did that, and I hope you were at least not sober. Because good Lord, I would not be able to sober sit through that.
I did fast forward it like 1.5 sometimes, and it's just it was still not bearable. Like there was some scenes in it. It was just like, why? What are you doing? Why are you putting musical scenes in this? Why are you putting cats swallowing people whole to evacuate them, and then the cats regurgitate them back? So they use them like the cats as like mini escape pods themselves to get into one escape pod. Because they had a ship, right?
Okay.
Still had a ship, right? And they had like these alien cats everywhere. And these alien cats can swallow things whole with like their tentacle mouths. And somehow they don't get fatter for some reason.
What is going on since I dropped out of Marvel? We were talking in the pre-show, and I was like, yeah, we can talk about this, but like I have such superhero fatigue that I haven't watched anything Marvel. I've seen a couple movies since Endgame. I've seen No Way Home, and I watched the Thor with the goats. And I don't even remember what that was called, but I watched Goat Thor. And I don't remember why. I think I watched that because I wanted to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, and they were in that one. And that was the only reason I watched it, because I was like, well, and they were a 2-minute cameo. I didn't even have to watch that stupid movie. That's all I've seen. So I've watched the Guardians. I haven't even seen Guardians 3. I haven't.
Guardians 3 is a mixed bag. It's got some really
shit.
Yes. Well, right. The scenes that are great and well written are depressing as shit. Then it goes to James Gunnerisms of stupid Mantis and Drax, who I can't stand in that film, and their humor. And it's just like an emotional roller coaster. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry my eyes out at this rocket scene. And then it's just like Drax and Mantis being absolute airheads.
He's really gonna ruin my boys.
Kill me now. These guys are not funny at all. It's just he's
pain. James Gunn's really gonna kill Superman for me, isn't he? Because I love Superman, and
I reckon Superman will be good.
Really, I like what he's basing it on, but the more, because I love All-Star Superman, I think that's one of the best Superman comics ever. But the more I hear coming out of the development of it, I'm like, oh no, stop. So I'm getting less and less and less faith, but we'll see. But so yeah, Marvel. So I'm so checked out. I've never seen a Captain Marvel film. I've never seen a stretchy arm girl film, and I literally could not. If you had a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you that girl's name on the left. Her. I don't know her name. I could not. If you had a gun to my head and pulled the trigger,
she doesn't actually have a. They don't give a superhero name in the movie.
Does she have a name? What's
she
her
has
name?
a name? Like, I think it's Photon, right? She's had multiple.
Photon. Wait, Photon?
Yes.
No. Sorry. Are you serious? Her name's Photon?
Yes, Photon.
No! One of my favorite shows from one of my favorite people ever is Photon. And she took it. What? My beloved David Stay. Oh my God.
I think beforehand she had like Marvel as a name. Then it was Spectrum. Then it was Photon. I don't know. I should have stuck to Spectrum.
I like Spectrum.
That'd be a funny name. But yeah, I did not predict this movie is going to do that badly. It did worse than Incredible Hulk in its opening weekend. So it was already the worst box office weekend start overall for
Revenge.
MCU movies, and this is the biggest drop off in superhero films. Just not just
Yes!
Marvel, superhero films. That is
Good.
just insane to me. And I had to tweet it out with just Ghost Rider saying burn because
Incredible Hulk is in probably my top 5 MCU films. So I've been
Yeah, I
avenged.
liked it. I can see why people
Edward
don't
Norton
like
bros.
it, but I liked it. I like Hulk. That's mainly why, because I like Hulk. I can
Yeah,
see
me
why
too.
people. It's not the favorite MCU movie, but I still like it. It's better than the shit we get today.
Yes.
Um,
I love depressing Hulk. So I love Edward Norton.
I also like the Ang Lee Hulk. Don't kill me.
I watched that as a kid, and I kind of like how it was a bold strategy to make it look like a literal comic book with panels. I want to rewatch it because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and I hated it as a kid. But looking back on it, I'm like, that's a neat idea. It's a little too on the nose, but maybe it worked. I liked the video game. There was a video game based on that, on the Ang Lee Hulk, and that was like it popped and it was super colorful. But yeah. So anyway, get dunked on.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I don't even know the name of the movie.
Take the L. The Marvels. No, it was Captain Marvel 2. Then it was changed to the Marvels. They added 2 other Captain Marvel related superheroes to it, and just like I was thinking, okay, they'll probably add a Galactus in there or Silver Surfer just to save it a little bit, get that extra money out of it. They didn't know that.
What?
Like, how could you release that and expect it to make money? That's what I don't get.
It's a spoiler, but I'm really only curious what the because they all have post-credit scenes. Like, what did they do after that? Was it anything interesting?
Right. So Photon was closing up like a portal thing from the MCU universe. In Guardians 2, that it was kind of like portals, and they traveled through them through space travel.
Oh yeah.
Right. So one of those like broke down massively during like a big villain fight, and it opened the portal through the multiverse, and Photon got stuck there. And the post-credit scene is her waking up in a hospital bed, seeing her mom as a different superhero in the X-Men base and a CGI Beast as well.
Oh, that's what it was. That was the whole Kelsey Grammer thing. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, there was Miss Stretchy Girl going to Kate Bishop's attic and kind of doing like a Nick Fury speech, but kind of like satire, She's in the shadow and just like, I'm recruiting a team. Could you join me? Please?
Oh.
It's really like this kiddie vibe to it, and it's setting up the Young Avengers. And it's just like, did you know that Ant-Man has a daughter as well?
Who cares?
Like, kill me. Like, Ant-Man has a daughter, and she was terrible in that movie. I have seen Quantumania first day it was out. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for it, but I still saw it in theaters, and God, Quantumania.
I fell asleep during Ant-Man 1. Like, I never saw Quantum. Like, who cares about Ant-Man?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Young Avengers and X-Men crossover. That's all they do. That's it. That's all they had. And just like, where the hell is Silver Surfer to get this money to tease the nerds a little? Surely you didn't think this was going to make money. I'm surprised that it crashed and burned the way it did, but it absolutely deserves it. Like, no other movie deserves it. Like, they have not tried with that movie at all, and it's laughable that they thought they would make money. And speaking of which, of what will not make money, Madame Web. I'll just browse through this. This is just, I've seen this trailer. I like Madame Web.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she should have a movie.
No.
She's a disabled lady who's blind. They use like a younger version in recent comics, because Madame Web passed away and it was passed on to someone else, I think, and she wears like a red jacket. I remember reading that because I read it's like Spider-Verse books, and yeah, she was in there somewhere. I only loosely know. So Sony were probably thinking we can't make it about a wheelchair blind lady who reads tarot cards. Let's make it about this younger lady.
Oh my god. Yeah, when I heard this was announced, I actually thought it was a joke. I
Yeah.
genuinely didn't think it was real because I thought it was just like it comes off like a movie to be like hey, we're making a movie about every character ever. It sounds like a Madam Web movie is a freaking joke. And then it was like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks real. To me, I haven't even watched the trailer, but looking at it right now, it looks like CW tier. Like any
Yes.
DC fans out there that like they watch all those like the CW shows are just horrible. It looks like it's CW budget.
Yep.
And we were talking in the pre-show, and you're a huge Spider-Man fan, of course. I, as a child, loved Spider-Man, and my childhood was the '90s Spider-Man. Pretty much that, and then the Tobey Maguire film. So I, like you said, I know Madam Web as my boy Wheels in there, and she has the cool
Yeah.
Paul Schaefer
It's
sunglasses.
probably the
right?
more iconic version that will get bums to seats. Like no one knows who this lady in a red jacket is. You know?
Why not make her the cool Paul Schaefer lady
yeah.
with the glass? Like that would look
Go
unique.
with it. It's a ludicrous design, you know?
Yeah. And then
they just give us this CW show. Apparently, this guy over here might be playing a young Ben Parker.
Who's Ben? Oh, like Uncle Ben?
Yeah,
Oh. Okay.
sure. So it's set in before Spider-Man's origin story.
All right.
And there's this villain in here. Let's see him. Who wears a CW looking outfit. Where is there a good shot? There we go. Yeah, that.
Yeah, it doesn't that look like I've seen
CW.
fan stuff better than this?
Yeah, that
Way
looks like a
better.
piece of shit. That's Ezekiel. He's kind of again a obscure, not a villain per se, but sometimes antagonist, sometimes ally to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And there was this weird comic run where they attempted to explain the spider sense as something more supernatural rather than something that was given to Peter by the spider that bit him. Because it kind of doesn't make sense that its spider sense is kind of like a warning system. Like, where does that come from? It's got supernatural origins, Peter, and Ezekiel was kind of like leading him into like this Amazon jungle, teaching him about like the mystical spiders and molons and stuff like that. It's very obscure.
Yeah.
He does not look like this. He does not have a Spider-Man outfit. He's just like a raggedy old man who can kind of like climb walls everywhere. I don't think he has web shooters either.
Okay,
like,
yeah, that
stick to
sounds
walls and
like
stuff like
yeah, that's kind of like what they do in Spawn is they make like the homeless looking people be the mentors and all that stuff. So that makes more sense.
So this is not Ezekiel at all.
Right.
I don't know what they're thinking. The only reason to see this movie is Sydney Sweeney as Spider-Woman. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, she doesn't look terrible.
Yeah, she kind of looks hot.
That's fine.
That's all I got.
So you can watch the movie on mute. Yeah. So there's one way you can get me interested in this movie, and I'm curious your take on this, but because you're a huge Spider-Man fan and I'm a passing Spider-Man fan, I love some of it, and I haven't read a Spider-Man comic book since I was a kid. But my favorite visual design for Spider-Man, not my favorite Spider-Man, but my favorite visual design has always been the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. I love the red and blue. I loved like the hoodie, like that iconic like 90s. It was very much like fucking Ezreal for Batman or whatever. Like it's alternate Spider-Man. If this movie brings in like a really badass, and clearly they're not because look at what they look like. But if they have that really badass looking Ben Reilly look, then I'm like, maybe.
Sony just completely failing on aesthetics. Modern supers and live action are severely lacking in this regard. Yep.
Yeah.
And listen, Sony's making all these side movies to keep their IP of Spider-Man. Because they have to make movies contractually. If they don't make any for a longest of times, it, reverts back to the previous owner or something like that.
That's why they did Amazing Spider-Man and Venom.
Venom. Don't go get me started on Venom. Good God.
I thought the first movie was okay, and the second movie was pretty terrible.
Terrible. I own the first appearance of Carnage.
Nice. That's Kay's favorite comic book villain ever is Carnage. She's a big Spider-Man fan.
it's just annoys me to high hell that Sony are just milking the cow just for some bunch of movies that aren't never like the proper way to go about this was to get Andrew Garfield in there. Just have some sort of Spider-Man in here, otherwise no one will care. Like all this Craven movie, all this Venom movie, all this Madam Web, no one will care if you have the main deal that is Spider-Man.
Right.
They might be planning that with Tom Holland and slowly getting Tom Holland to their side and getting it away from Marvel. I think that might be. I read some rumors about that, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. Screw Madam Web, screw Craven. They shouldn't be movies. But
yeah, it's all awful. I wanted Jackie Earl Haley to play Carnage personally. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was Rorschach in Watchmen.
Oh, good
and
choice.
he was it's a terrible movie, but in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, he was Freddy. But he's an amazing actor, and he's also like properly ginger, and he looks like Carnage, and he could play a sadistic badass Carnage, not Woody Harrelson Carnage.
If he needed someone younger, I was always like the casting of the Fallen Order Jedi Survivor games.
Oh yeah.
The main dude in that is ginger. He
that's fair.
He also played Joker in the Gotham. Gotham wasn't a good show, but he gave a good performance. I think he could pull it off easily. And you need to cast the young. You definitely need to cast the actors young. Unlike the MCU here, even Deadline reported on this. It's probably somewhere. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. The guy is nearly 50. I have no idea what the MCU are thinking with this. Apparently, they're negotiating with him. There's some interest, but it's not a done deal, right? This isn't official. It's not a done deal. It's not completely official. But yeah, official sources like Deadline are saying, well, yeah, he's writing some contracts, negotiating. He's in the mix. They're struggling with Reed Richards, apparently, and I don't buy this for a second. You know what's a good casting that I saw for Reed Richards? House, Dr. House.
Oh yeah. Well, so like on the as I said with my Harry Potter stuff, I like my grizzled old men, and so I don't hate Pedro Pascal on the age aspect.
Right, but
I don't.
They need to make multiple movies of Fantastic Four, the first family of Marvel, right?
Yeah,
you gotta use them.
Yeah.
You gotta cast young. Like that. This just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I thought the last guy was okay. From The Office. What's his name? The Office guy. It was in the movie I didn't watch. Doctor Strange 2, Electric Boogaloo. Because they had a cameo.
Oh no, John Krasinski. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Office guy. Yeah. And so I thought that was fine. I'm fine with them casting old men. I was fine with them keeping Henry Cavill, but then James Gunn is like, no, we need slightly younger, and we need 2 years younger Henry Cavill. But I don't love Pedro Pascal as a person. I've seen some complaints on the fact that what is his descent? He's not the same. Yeah, he's not the same as Reed Richards, so I think I think he can pass as Reed Richards. But I don't know. I've never been a huge
Jesus Christ, Trooper by using light mode. I don't know actually how to switch it.
Good question, actually. Yeah, that's actually a good question.
A flashbang, I'm not in the. I will every time, Buck. You complain about this whenever we're on the show. All right,
that's fine. Let's just make it even whiter for him. But yeah, so I think this is fine. I saw a lot of people being outraged over it. For me, it's better casting than the the last Fantastic Four movie. I didn't even watch that. Do you remember that? It was I think it was Sony
that
one.
was Miles Teller. Yeah. I call it Fant Four Stick because they put the 4 in the middle for some reason, and that's my official nickname for it. I will forever refer to that movie as Fant Four Stick just because what a stupid way to lay out the title. Like I will forever call it Fant Four Stick.
It had a great Denny's menu. I went to Denny's and had the Fan Four Fist Stick. I had the French toast, the Fan Four Stick French toast, and it was great. But that's all I know on that movie. And then I was like, why is Human Torch not looking like Human Torch? I'm confused. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the rest of the cast is, but
Mhm.
I'm not a huge Fantastic Four guy, so I'm just like, we'll wait and see. I don't
Yeah.
hate this as much as a lot of people have been
I
hating
mean,
this, but
Pedro
I'm not the
Pascal can
audience for it.
act. Yeah, Pedro Pascal can act. I'll give him
Mhm.
that. He
Yeah.
certainly can act, but he's not the right pick. All right, choose someone else.
It's probably better, yeah.
There's better choices out there.
The house casting would be neat, but
Yeah,
isn't he even older than
yeah.
Pedro Pascal?
I think they should have just go with Adam Driver. He was rumored. I would just go with him.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, and so I mean, as a huge Star Wars fan, obviously I have but it's like he's a great actor.
Mhm.
It's just what's his name? The guy. His character was horrible. His character was horrible. The writing was horrible. But
Kylo
Adam
Ren,
Driver, if you watch him in a different movie, he's actually pretty freaking excellent. So
Yep.
that could have been good. Yeah, I can see that for sure. But yeah.
So moving on to our next topic, I did say we might rant a little bit about Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah.
I am currently in the midst of writing a scripted video, nicely edited, of analyzing Spider-Man 2's story because I thought it was, to put it nicely, screw you, YouTube, I'm going to swear, a piece of shit.
Oh no!
I hated the story so much. I thought the ending was a complete letdown. I was so disappointed with the game. I returned it, got my money back. So if I'm not enjoying the game that cost me 60 quid, yeah, I'm gonna return it. Like I'm sorry, like for that price, I'm not messing around. If I'm, I really shouldn't have pre-ordered it.
No.
But,
Oh my God, no. And you know
the
what?
last game I pre-ordered, right, was Cyberpunk on the PS4. And I
Oh
told myself,
God, I'm so sorry.
on that day, I was like, never pre-order a game again. Never pre-order it. I did it this time, and I was
Here we
this
are.
again.
What was the pre-order? Why did you pre-order it? What was the pre-order bonus?
For Spider-Man 2 or Cyberpunk?
It was Spider-Man 2, because you said you never do it again, and then lo and behold, what was
Well,
what caused you to pre-order?
well, I was streaming it, so I wanted to just like I thought everyone was so hype over it. It's probably good material to stream, and you get extra skin. And I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. It's got
Right.
Venom in it, so the hype was unreal for this game. And when you play it, it feels like it's been written by a Californian at the age of 12, at the maturity age of 12. That's what it's been
Right.
It feels it's been written by. It's got like California isms in it, and I'm just as a guy from Poland, I'm just like raising my eyebrows. I'm like, why am I helping these two boys to prom? Why am I playing as a deaf girl? Like those were
Wait.
things that bugged me, but there's also story elements that I thought do not make sense completely as well.
Well, you were close. It wasn't written in California. It was actually written in Quebec, and they also wrote they also wrote God of War, and they also wrote Alan Wake. So you were close. You were close. It turns out
Of
writing
course it's
everything.
Canada.
Yeah. So sweet baby. But you know what, True Pop, you're gonna hate me because guess what?
Yeah.
I also played it on launch, but I've only played 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought the game was pretty amazing. I loved the pizza missions. I loved where you were doing pizza delivery. I loved that they brought my boy Tobey Maguire back. They even had Kirsten Dunst in there, which she was never my favorite Mary Jane, but hey, that's fine. And James Franco. So I thought it was pretty great. I played it for 4 hours on launch, Spider-Man 2, and we had a freaking blast over at Melee Games.
I'm sorry to say, James, but that's not the right Spider-Man 2 game.
What? I have it right here. I have it. Where is it? There, see? I streamed this. I streamed this one.
Oh, you have it.
It says Spider-Man. It says Spider-Man 2. We played it for 4 hours right there. It was great. What are you talking about? Huh? I'm so confused.
I had that on the PlayStation 2. Oh, memories. Just
It's
for the
great.
back.
It's so good. So I don't know why everyone's complaining about this game and saying it was written by sweet babies in Quebec, but and look, it even has an instruction manual. How often do you get a game that has an and also it advertises this game on the back? I don't know why it's advertising an old game, but X-Men Legends, amazing game, buddy. So yeah, I love Spider-Man 2. You can quote
God
me
of
on
War
that.
Ragnarok was the least affected by Sweet Baby. Yeah, I agree. I definitely think Angraboda was definitely a Sweet Baby Inc. influence, but I do think they stuck the landing with God of War Ragnarok. They ended it well. The only criticisms I would have is like I need more of Odin. I need more of Thor. I wish they were introduced in the first game and set them up, because I thought like the first game did very little story wise. I thought we'd be killing Odin in the first game. But yeah, I think like maybe it would have been a better idea. I just like to get more of these characters. I found Odin fascinating. I found Thor fascinating. I'd just like to get more story on them. Angraboda, hell no. Get her the hell out. I was bored as hell playing those missions. And
I've never played a single God of War, but if the new Sweet Baby ones don't have sex 3-way QTEs, then I'm not interested, because I know that's in the old God of Wars. That's all I've done is I own the old ones, and I got to the sex QTE part, and I'm like, there's no reason to play the rest of the game. It's perfect. It's perfect. Why see what comes after this? Is there more?
I easily recommend the new God of War games. They're pretty good. Ragnarok, again, you're gonna have to bear with it sometimes, but I think it does have some good stories. See, I have a controversial take, James. I like games with story in them. You know,
I do too.
Yeah,
but it has to be good stories.
Yes,
not sweet baby stories.
It's a shame Spider-Man 2 did not have a good story, because I thought it did some good improvements, like the parry system. Even though I couldn't parry for shit. no, James, the Insomniac game.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this game is selling like hotcakes, I suppose. Or the fourth highest selling game. I'm like, only fourth? This was the highest selling game, whatever. It's like only fourth.
This was actually my prediction at the when I was predicting that Spider-Man 2. My prediction is at the Jeff Keighley Fake Game Awards, because we're doing Better Game Awards. But at the Jeff Keighley Fake Game Awards, I think this is gonna win Game of the Year.
Really?
That's my prediction. That's my prediction. And I knew this would be doing gangbusters, but I thought the story in the first one was terrible, and of course I never played the Miles Morales one, because why would I?
Why would you?
Why would I?
Think now that I've played 2, I thought because I played 1, played the DLC, thought the DLC was shit.
It was really bad. I played that too. It was,
and then I played 2, so I just binged all the games apart from Miles, because who cares about Miles? I like the idea of Spidey having a sidekick, and you can switch around between. There's potential there, but they don't treat Miles like a side. They treat him like an upcoming replacement, especially with the ending. And I appreciate the first game's story more, especially with the spoilers. Everyone, it's a little bit 4 years old game, maybe 5.
I'm still playing it. Don't spoil it.
But in the first Insomniac Spider-Man game, Aunt May dies. And the way in which she dies, and Peter has to decide whether he has to save the people or just her. And, that's got like an emotional gut punch, greatly demonstrating the great power comes great responsibility thing. This
Peter, if you let her die, you're going to get that will quicker. And you look good in the papers.
And the thing is, that had much more of a better way to end it. There's a gut punch in there. And in here, they pussy out of killing Harry because he's Venom, and they want to make a spin-off game. And Peter takes a break for some reason, even though Harry survived and he's just in the coma. Like, I keep saying this, and I'm going to mention it in the video. Why not kill off? Would it not make more sense to kill off Harry and then have Peter say, "Oh, I'm taking a break. I can't do this anymore. Harry died. Aunt May died. I'm done." But no, Harry survived. So why the hell are you taking a break? And of all the characters to take a break, Peter Parker is the least likely to, because of his mantra. And that gets into adaptation. I think
wish they'd kill off the studio that made this game.
It's
That's what I
just
want them to kill off.
his story was so bad that I'm worried about Wolverine and how they're going to do him. Is Wolverine
Oh, I have no
going
faith.
to help a gay couple get together in the X-Men class? Like, what are we doing with the
I don't.
Wolverine?
I've been making enemies on Twitter. I don't care. There is no way that this terrible Wolverine game is gonna pass the best Wolverine game ever, X-Men Origins Wolverine, done by Raven Software. I've played it through it many times, and guess what? Guess what I'm gonna do when Wolverine comes out, whenever that is, day one. I'm streaming X-Men Origins Wolverine, the best Wolverine game. It's so. Have you played it? It's so good.
I've seen multiplayer. It does seem fun.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
The thing is, like, do you reckon in the new Insane Wolverine game they'll have decapitated people in there, or do you think it'll be tis but a scratch kind of thing, kind of like with lightsaber
yeah.
Because I want cut off limbs.
Yeah, and that's the Raven Software one. Is you have claws, but in the first 5 minutes of the game, you take a guy's head and you shove it into the blades of a helicopter that's mid-flight, and you see the blades turn red, and then the plane crashes, and it's like, this is the best thing ever. No, you're not gonna get that. It's gonna have good gameplay. Like, the gameplay flow is gonna be good, but you're gonna have to suffer through the most insufferable sweet baby story you've ever seen. So Wolverine is gonna be battling. He's gonna be the morally gray character, and he's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm a bad guy, but I'm not like these jerks over here that are bullying a woman or something. And then he's just gonna go take out those guys. It's gonna be that kind of thing dialed up, where he's like, it's going to be like freaking Arthur in Red Dead 2, which, if you guys were focusing on that story even gets rough. I love Red Dead 2, but it gets sometimes. But it's just like, oh yeah, I'm a bad, tough criminal, except I'm the biggest goody two-shoes if you actually do every side mission ever. And he constantly gets in the way of bullies. It's going to be like that. Like, Wolverine is a bully, but he's a bigger bully than the bullies, so he's gonna go bully hunting the whole time and be like, I'm a bad guy, but these guys are worse. That's my prediction. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be awful. And yeah, Nathan says the game is gonna be M-rated. Yeah, because you're gonna go snick it and go ka-ching, ka-ching. It's gonna be M-rated because he's gonna be smoking in it. But like, the actual content of the story is gonna be insufferable. That's my prediction.
I imagine there'll be a lot of racism allegories to mutants and stuff like that. You can do that well, but you know, I doubt they'll pull it off, because in here, some of the stuff they put in here is just as subtle as a hammer to the face. And it's just like, why am I playing as a deaf girl? This is a Spider-Man game. It's like that meme of sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Meanwhile, in this one, when you deliver pizzas, it plays the most obnoxious Italian music you've ever heard, dialed up to 11. It's amazing.
The mutant racism really feels like it's ran its course in it. Yeah, so I'm just not looking forward to it. Anyway, chat, look forward to that video. I didn't write it because I'm busy watching Harry Potter movies, but I am hoping to release it in December. So stay tuned for that. I have a couple of things to say about it. Might be like a 30-minute video. Who knows? Hoping to get it done. Okay. One of the main course. It's in the thumbnail. I am absolutely furious with Naughty Dog. And this is just so pathetic. This, initially, The Last of Us Part 2 remake got leaked, and then they officially announced it. From what I've heard. And it's going to cost $10 to upgrade your copy.
Oh, they're doing that. Okay. Yeah.
It should be free, because the next still that I'm going to show you is just this is real. This is real. PS4 versus PS5 graphics in The Last of Us Part 2. This guy is not joking, by the way.
Oh my god. Is it what did okay, I am a proud hater of Neil Druckmann. I absolutely hate him. I've not played any Last of Us ever because I hate him so much. Did Last of Us 2 run at 60 FPS? because if it didn't, and then this new version does, then fair. But the PS5 is notorious for not. This generation is notorious for not having games run at 60 FPS. So it's like, fine if it didn't run at 60 and now it does. As a frame rate snob, I can kind of get that. But yeah, there's no difference. And I remember with Last of Us 1 remake, the original actually looked better most of the time. And this is even more one-to-one. Like, what, she's slightly less orange? She lost her tan? What? Neil Druckmann, what are you doing? Clearly, I'm not missing anything playing your terrible games.
And it costs $10.
Don't give him money. Don't give him money to play Abby Golfing Simulator.
I think you might be right, James, that it might be like an increased frame rate, but it's just like, even then, I don't want to have to pay $10 for that.
Even then, it's still a god-awful game made
Cyberpunk
by a
can do
god-awful
it.
person.
Witcher games can do it. What else is free? Upgrade. A bunch of games can upgrade from PS4 to PS5, because I recently just bought a PS5, right? And I was like, okay. Resident Evil 7, that's got a free upgrade. That's nice.
Yep.
You know, stuff like that. Healthy for the customer to transition into PS4, PS5. Why the hell are you charging for this? It's stupid. No one has a Last of Us Part 2 PS4 copy anyway. I'm sure everyone either just returned it or smashed it, or it's rotting on the shelves.
They went and played golf with it.
Or played golf with it. Like, good God. This is the most useless remaster. So, actually, let's count how many times have they remastered the Last of Us series. So, we've got launch of the PS3. Then it got remastered for the PS4. Right? That's fine. I'm fine with that. That was a good remaster. Everyone looked fine in there. Right? Then we got the remake of the first Last of Us that runs on PS5. To me, it looks ugly because everyone looks dramatically older, including Joel's friend in the beginning. I forget her name. She looks like dramatically older.
You try being in a Neil Druckmann game that many times, you're gonna look older too, even if it's the same time. I don't blame Joel.
Yeah,
I would gladly take that golf club. Are you kidding me? Just end it.
Abby Snash Penny Joel. Yeah. There's been some casting rumors about Abby, and unfortunately, it's not John Cena.
My pick was always Brock Lesnar.
Oh
my God,
okay,
great minds. I always wanted Brock Lesnar. That's who I wanted. So great minds, but yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, but anyway, what I wanted to say is, if Naughty Dog wants to remaster or remake something, how about they do it with the freaking first Uncharted game, Drake's Fortune? I love the Drake.
That's not
trilogy.
a Neil Druckmann game. That's why. Because he only wants that's an Amy Hennig game when Naughty Dog was good, and then they ousted her from the frickin' company, even though she was the coolest lady in frickin' gaming. And then Neil Druckmann comes in and he's like insidiously like a fricking parasite taking it over and ousts her from the company. I love you, Amy Hennig. I'm not even a huge Uncharted fan. My favorite Uncharted is actually 3. I love Uncharted 3. I think that's the best one. But
no,
yeah.
I think it's 2 and 3 essentially counts as DLC because they practically added nothing, nearly nothing new.
I don't know. There's something about 3 felt the most like Indiana Jones adventurous, and it was just it was a ride.
Listen, I'm not saying 3 is a bad game, right? It just feels like DLC. It doesn't feel like a third game, really. I don't have a problem with it, but it's just like, if it's a third game, add a bit more to it. Like 4 was a dramatic step in terms of new gameplay and stuff. I did not like the story.
I played 5 minutes of 4 and then I threw it out the window because Neil Druckmann. I hate him that much.
The gameplay to 4 is fantastic. The story is disappointing.
Yeah.
That tends to be a lot the case with these games nowadays. The gameplay is really good, Spider-Man 2. But the story is shit. And that's a shame. And it's like what you said with Neil Druckmann. We don't use the word fun. That's his official quote.
I hate him so much.
And
Lord
know him as the
Gaben
magic-
himself.
I
Huh?
know him. I can't remember his name, but I refer to him as
You-
a magical Steam guy. I forget
You
his
don't know our Lord and Savior Gabe Newell?
name. Yeah, that's his name. I recognize the guy. All right. Listen,
He's
I'm a
Santa
console boy.
Claus.
I
Of
don't
gaming.
interact with Steam much. You know.
You need to find happiness. Oh, guys,
I
we
know.
need to get True Pop a
Listen.
Steam account. He's been missing out on magic.
I have a Steam account. I have. Don't worry about it. I don't have a Steam Deck yet. I'm not an ultimate Steam Deck. Let's go, fanboy.
You don't need it. You don't even need it. Gaben loves you anyway, even without your Steam Deck. It's fine.
Yeah,
He's literally the Santa Claus of gaming. He keeps on giving, and he's jolly and happy. I love him.
But he won't give you a Half-Life free.
He
Or
can't
2.
count to 3. That's fine. I forgive him. I think it's kind of like what's the Tim Allen Santa Claus movie? I think he loses his magical Christmas power if he says 3. So he gives us so much, but he can't give us 3. I love Team Fortress. I want TF3. I love Left 4 Dead. I want Left 4 Dead 3. Portal's great. No Portal 3. So I understand, Gaben. You lose your Christmas magic, kind of like Frosty with the hat, if you say the number 3. So I forgive him. He's amazing.
And I have never thought to myself that realism is fun. I go to planes to have fun. Two sides of a coin, I suppose. Which way, Western man? As Weekend Warrior says.
Can people just stop giving Neil Druckmann money already? He hates you. He wants you to hate yourself. The message of Last of Us 2 is pretty much spoilers.
No, spoil away. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I need to concentrate every time I say shit on this live stream.
Let your father's skull get freaking caved in by Brock Lesnar, and then when you get the opportunity for revenge, be like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna. And it's just like, no, Are you kidding me? If I was like a scrawny Ellen Page looking lesbian, I would have freaking gotten so much revenge for my dad. That's how it should have gone. Rambo way, baby. I hate Neil Druckmann so much. Give me my revenge. Give me my revenge.
The story does not make sense, like, at all. Because, right. The ending is absolutely nonsensical, right? You're about to take your revenge. You've killed a genocide of people.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you remember thoughts of back to Joel, and you somehow forgive her, and even though she bit your finger off as well.
Yes, and like you said, after you killed like 800 people over there.
Right. And you go back to your home, right? And it turns out you can't play the guitar because you're missing a finger, and it's just like, oh, the moral of the story is revenge wasn't worth it. Bitch, she didn't even take the revenge.
Hey, Neil Druckmann, revenge is always worth it. Always. I don't know who's been teaching you, but Gabe Newell's going to get revenge on you, brother.
It would make more sense, the ending, if she did kill Abby, right? And then there's that ending of, oh no, she lost her fingers and stuff like that. She can't play the guitar and remember Joel anymore. The revenge wasn't worth it, But no, she didn't take the revenge. So it's nonsensical. It's so weird. It's like going for a punch and then just.
He's trying to make like melancholy cinematic like garbage slop. But the thing is, movies. This is my problem with Hideo Kojima. Is video games aren't movies. Movies aren't video games. They're different mediums. I love both. But like when you are a video game and you're playing a protagonist in a video game, it's not like a protagonist in a film. You can watch a film and have a protagonist, but like when you are playing a game, you are inserting yourself as that character. So you could have maybe translated that into film better. But when you are denying the player their revenge and how they feel, that is such an unsatisfying, unforgivable experience. I understand what he's trying to do. It's awful no matter what the medium is, but it's especially awful in the medium of video games, in my opinion. Like, at least give players the choice. How about that? You know, when in
Yep.
doubt, I always say just give players the option. Why couldn't you have an option? Why couldn't you have an A and B? Get revenge, don't get revenge. Then you get your stupid lame ending, Druckmann, and then the rest of us can have fun bashing Abby's head in.
Yep. And I'm saying,
Fine.
like, the ending would have made more sense if she took the revenge, but she doesn't. And Neil Druckmann, he's kind of like scared to, I don't know, make her evil. Like, oh no, if she takes revenge, she'll be evil, and then kind of throw some taint towards. I cannot taint my precious female protagonist. I think that's what it is. Like it's kind of like there's some sort of plot armor. Well, it's not plot armor. It's like character armor. Like I cannot have this character do bad actions, even though they have been doing bad actions all freaking day. I'm trying to find this Abby casting.
I remember seeing
Yeah,
it,
no.
and it looks way too feminine to be Abby. It's Brock Lesnar or nothing. Yeah, it actually looks like a woman. I don't know if Neil
Yeah.
Druckmann's going to be injecting her with steroids, like horse steroids or something.
Wait,
That's the only way it makes sense, really.
let me search it. Abby Crush.
While you're searching for that, I love what Insidious Bliss said. He said, the moral of the story was that if you don't raise your kids right, they will let you down when it is time to avenge your death. Powerful message. Exactly. So Joel's a complete failure in the context of that game. So
Okay.
yeah. See,
I
look,
found it.
she looks too pretty.
Yep. Right. This makes me think. Do you think they will change any plot point or story in season 2 of The Last of Us HBO show?
I didn't watch season 1 because I hate everything involving Neil Druckmann, but did they change anything in season 1, or is it 1-to-1? I don't know if you watched it.
It's pretty. I haven't watched it, but I've watched people cover it.
Okay.
Like with the Mammal Views, and it seems to be about like 90-80% there, pretty close to the game story wise.
I do
Some
remember
filler
them.
episodes, dumb filler episodes, but yeah, there's some. It's like a 80% match for the game story.
Yeah, I do remember them saying that, like, be prepared, fans, because things are going to get different. They said something akin to that for season 2, which people took to be like, oh, they're not going to kill Joel, because that was such a controversial opinion. Because people like Joel a lot in the show. It's Pedro Pascal, right? Which he only got the part because Pedro Pascal is now like, you need a surrogate daddy. It's Pedro Pascal. So expect that in Fantastic Four, by the way.
I would have loved to see Hugh Jackman play Joel.
Another surrogate daddy. But yeah, it's all that's
you know,
the new popular
that would
thing
be
in
my
Hollywood.
dream casting, but you know, I guess his paycheck was too expensive. But
I wanted Tiger Woods to play Joel. But so yeah, it's
that joke flew past me. I'm sure it was funny, but
golf. There you go. If anyone knows how to wield a club. So yeah, they're gonna change some stuff. I think, and just looking at this, yeah, they're probably gonna try to make Abby even more sympathetic.
right. That would be the way to go.
But
like,
yeah,
Last of Us story, like it, they kill off Joel, and Ellie has a revenge story, and Abby being simple. You can pull off those stuff. The thing is, Last of Us 2 does it terribly, fucking terribly, and I reckon you could pull off that story by not killing maybe Joel in the first 10-20 minutes. There's an idea. Like, I don't think they have the guts to kill off Pedro Pascal in like the first 3 or 2 episodes. Like,
well, Hollywood is very different from games, and so you're gonna have characters and contracts and all this stuff, like actors' contracts and all that stuff have to appear X amount of times. This was my issue with Pedro Pascal. This is going a little off topic, but with Mandalorian, right? Is they made this whole lore that he's not supposed to show his face, but then Pedro Pascal is making a big stink and being like, "No, I'm an actor. I got to show my face," and so they would make these bull malarkey excuses to show his face repeatedly in the show. And so that's Hollywood, right? And so I don't think they can get away with the star power of Pedro Pascal right now. I don't think they can get away with killing him off immediately. It might be like at the end of the season, right? And that might be a contractual thing or something. But this late into it, after they've already established season 1, I think expect differences. And I just don't know why anyone would even bother watching this, to be honest. I mean, it's insufferable. Last of Us has been insufferable since the freaking start of the franchise because Neil Druckmann. So it's just like, can we just suffocate this like a fire, like a Neil Druckmann fire, and just not watch this and just let it die? It's so awful. It's the antithesis of video games. This freaking guy.
Antithesis of story as well. Because
It's antithesis of fun. Like this, everything Neil Druckmann represents. It's like he's in my top 3 most hated people in the industry. Him and Randy Pitchford. Everything they do is so insufferably bad. So it's just
there's this like highbrow about it, like I am revolutionary. This is unseen before, and you're just not have the cinematic lens to understand. No, you made a shit story. You made a shit game, mate. Like
and what's the gameplay? It's a third-person cover shooter. Like there isn't 80 billion of those. Oh my god, it's revolutionary. I can shoot from cover and use right bumper to reload.
Yeah.
So no.
And you have like the panic of people begging for their help in Last of Us 2. And it's meant to be like, oh no, Ellie's a monster and blah blah blah. Like, okay, I'll let them go if they plead for help. They attack you anyway after that, like for like 5 seconds. So it's a useless mechanic. You don't have a choice of sparing them or not. It's artificial as hell.
Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do if I was in charge of this. I would pull a tactic that arguably the greatest director of all time pulled, Stanley Kubrick with The Shining. Stephen King hates Stanley Kubrick's Shining because in reality the movie is absolutely nothing like the book, and so he pretty much took the book and took kind of a basic idea of the book and then turned it into this wild, insane masterpiece that can be interpreted a billion different ways. And then Stephen King over here is like, no, you ruined my vision. It's supposed to be about spooky hotel ghosts. And he's like, I don't care. I'm actually making it about how the Federal Reserve took over America's money. And it's a Rubik's Cube of puzzles. Screw you. And so that's what I would do. I would take Neil Druckmann's work and I would just completely transform it. Yeah, sure, Abby's in it and Joel's in it, but actually it's a completely different story. And I don't care because you're shit. That's what I would do if I was in charge.
Yeah, I hope they can turn it. I will be fascinated of how they're going to do this. Are they going to follow the game beat for beat, or are they going to change some stuff? Because if they change some stuff, it's a admission that yes, we messed up. Yes, the story decisions were bad. And if they do, I will be jumping on my high horse, just like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You don't ever want to admit it. But you made terrible decisions with that game. Hopeful they'll do something with Last of Us 2. I'm so interested. I'll consider even watching it because I didn't bother with 1 because I knew with 1 it'll lead to 2, but now I'm not so sure because I'm like thinking, are you really that stupid to follow the story of 2 and translate it to a series? Are you really that stupid? I just want to. It's like a curiosity. It's like watching a car go into a car crash. It's just like, are you going to crash the exact same way as that other car did, or are you going to learn some lessons?
I can confidently say I will not be watching it. I will be laughing from a distance when I see people on Twitter like yourself, True Pop, just mocking it and saying how terrible it is. So I will be comfy watching my Garfield specials and laughing from a far distance while this show goes up in flames. And I'm excited for the rest of the world to experience the terrible decisions because one way or another, this show is going to get worse. And so because this show got big, and so there's a lot of people that like the show that don't play video games. So even if it is 1-to-1, I'm excited to see all the suffering in the world when they see what happens to Joel and Abby and all that stuff. So I'll be comfy and laughing at all the suffering that comes from Neil Druckmann's constant suffering machine that he creates forever.
Definitely. And we spoke about remasters and remakes and all that hooey dooey. But speaking of another remake there's one that's officially been cancelled, or should I say, dead in the water. Yeah, so the new Star Wars KOTOR game has been essentially cancelled. They released like a teaser trailer long ago with like Darth Revan in it, and nothing's come out of it. It's dead in the water.
So this is two different things. This is two different stories. So what you're saying is the KOTOR remake, which is a separate project from Aspire's KOTOR 2 DLC.
Okay.
But I can talk. KOTOR is my favorite game of all time. I can talk about either. But so in terms of the remake, the KOTOR remake, I am. Oh yeah, no, I can happily talk about. I know a lot about this, but I also know a lot about that. You take your pick, whichever one you want to talk about, my friend, and we will talk about it. But yeah, if you want to talk, do you want to talk the remake that got canceled?
Yeah, the remake that got canceled.
Okay,
I got the wrong answer.
No, buddy. This is actually like they're both really good stories, actually.
Okay.
So we can even talk about this if you want as well.
Right.
But yeah, so in terms of the remake getting canceled, I am so happy. That's the one. I am so happy. Yeah. So the other one was Aspire Media getting in trouble for their promised DLC. But this is for the first game getting a remake, and I am so freaking happy this is canceled, folks, because this is my favorite game of all time, Knights of the Old Republic. And here's the thing: it is not really a turn-based RPG, but it's like you kind of input the moves and the characters do them in a motion, like they're fighting the whole time, and it's like a 1.5 turn-based game. I don't know how to explain it. But the game doesn't need a remake. The gameplay plays fine. Everything's fine. The visuals are Xbox PS2 era, but it's like you don't really need new graphics. But here's the big red flag: is they hired a writer for this remake.
Yes,
they hired a writer, and it's like the game's written, and the story is what makes this game so good. You don't need a writer. And the writer, I don't remember her name, but she was the woman complaining about getting unwanted advances in like GTA Online and stuff. And she was making news because people were like teabagging her in GTA. And it's like, yeah, that's who I want writing my KOTOR remake. So I was dreading this. I was dreading this remake, and I am so happy it is 100% dead. KOTOR 1 is a perfect game. If you haven't played it, go play it right now. Oh my God, don't get it spoiled for you. It's amazing. And now it's gonna be forever perfect. So in this case, I love remakes dying.
Well, I may have some sort of contradictory opinion to your own. Like, I've always heard about a great deal about KOTOR games. I've seen multiple cutscenes as well. I've always watched it from afar, and I've always been told that it's got a absolutely great story, and I've always wanted to experience it. But whenever I just looked at actually playing it, I'm just like, okay, this is a headache to get, and the gameplay looks a little world. I don't know if I want to play this too much. So I would have liked to see a remaster or a remake, but a good one.
Not possible.
I did not have any hope with this. Like, maybe at least a simple remaster to make the graphics look better. Like, maybe that would be preferable. Just so the story is completely untouched. But no, I've always like watched it from afar, and I always wanted to get into it. I was just like, when I heard this piece of news from the first, like, oh, cool, I'll probably play that, you know. But yeah, then I heard about the stuff of there being a writer, of being a progressive writer, and yeah, all the fans were just kind of like reporting on that, and I heard about that, and they didn't have much faith for it. So I reckon it's a good thing that this thing is dead.
It is 100% a good thing, and the only thing they could change without ruining everything is the visuals. The game, it is a turn-based esque RPG. The game really plays itself, especially if you go dark side, which is the right side to do anyway. The game is pretty freaking easy because you can just kill everybody. And there's not really any bugs or anything. It really requires nothing. I'm not sure.
Was the writer Notoriously Terrible? Okay,
that's the name. Thank you. But yeah, you really play KOTOR for the story. You really just play it for that narrative experience. And True Pop, it drops to like $2-3 when it's on sale on Steam. I cannot stress enough that you should just jump on in. I swear to you, the story is so good, you will get over the visuals
The
in like
wonky
5
visuals
minutes.
and gameplay, yeah.
But like,
It
I
is.
mean, I personally,
I did tell you I like the stories in game. So
yeah, you will not regret playing this game, and don't let it get spoiled for you. And I am actually happy for you that this game is dead and gone forever, because absolutely Sam Maggs would have destroyed this experience. And then you would have played it and been like, what's so great about KOTOR? And I would have been like, it's not the same. It's not KOTOR. No.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely. You really should give KOTOR a good shake. And KOTOR 2 is also amazing. I actually like KOTOR 2 better than 1. There's a unpopular opinion, but they're both masterpieces. They're freaking incredible, man. So yes, press S to spit on the grave of the KOTOR remake. May you never come back again. I don't want Disney to touch this lore. They've ruined everything else. Leave KOTOR alone. Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. And it's I guess good things can happen. I mean, this was all from the get-go kind of sketchy, because it's just like, oh, they are writing it and orienting it. You hear all these trouble in paradise, I suppose. And you said all sorts of things. And yeah, I have never heard who Aspyr even made beforehand. Like, I have never heard of that company.
I'm actually a big fan of Asper or Aspire Media. I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly, but I'm actually a huge fan of theirs, which is why it was so shocking that they hired this writer. Because usually what this company does is they don't do remakes. They just do ports, and they have been amazing at porting. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I'm a big Star Wars gaming fan. All they've really done prior to this is port over Star Wars games that were amazing in the past to modern systems. So Episode 1 Racer, which is my favorite racing game of all time, they ported that to modern systems, like the Xbox, PS4, and the Switch. And then same with Republic Commando, and then they ported KOTOR 1 and 2 over. And and Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, which Jedi Academy is my favorite gameplay of any game or any Star Wars game ever. And so that's all they did was ports. And so when they announced this was a big new venture for Aspyr, because it was like, oh, this is actually a game. You're not just porting over stuff, adding achievements, because they don't even do like visual upgrades. They literally just kind of bring it up to 1080p, and they make sure achievements work and that it's got the proper inputs on the screen. And that's all I want from my remakes, is like, just get it working on modern systems. I want my beloved old games to be on my new systems.
You reckon it was like too big of a task?
I think so, and so good. Because this was actually going to be a new game. This was going to be a full-blown remake, and the first thing to do is hire a writer. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Oh, they also did Stubbs the Zombie, which is an amazing game. They brought that over. So yeah, they've only done ports of great old games, and then suddenly to do something, like you said, to this caliber, it was weird and shocking and totally out of place for them.
Anyway, I'd still like to see a remaster, but I suppose we'll have to wait and see. I might go off on your recommendation and just get it from Steam.
I think everyone in chat that is a KOTOR fan will be screaming at you and say, like, I cannot recommend KOTOR enough. The visuals are, it's fine. It's serviceable. This isn't like a Legacy of Kain scenario where the game is so old that it's like hard to play. The way the game works is you'll be fine. Trust me, especially if you like story and you like RPGs and decision making, you're going to have a freaking blast, man. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'll just put this in the background to play.
Oh, no.
You've probably heard about this game, and
yeah,
I am not looking forward to it at all.
No.
I have read the 4chan story leaks, and did a bit of dissection on them. I made a video on this channel, and it's worrying. Like, the gameplay itself is worrying. The story itself is worrying. They're having skins, pre-order skins. It is just red flags all over. It's a live service game. It's a multiplayer co-op, and it's just like, what is this? what happened to my lovely Arkham solo play games?
Mhm.
There was nothing wrong with them. Like, okay, there was too much of Batmobile with Arkham Knight. All right, yeah, sure, but this is a whole another level of bad. You know. After I played Spider-Man 2, by the way, I was just like, we took the Arkham games for granted. We really did. And after I'm
Wait.
seeing this, we took the Arkham games for granted. Like,
Yeah, everyone go say sorry to Arkham Knight. So I said
Yeah.
KOTOR is my favorite game. I usually say I have 3 favorite games. My top 3 games, no order, are KOTOR, Halo 3, and Arkham City. Those are my top 3 games. And so you're dragging True Pop, you're making me suffer today so much. But yeah, so here's the thing, folks, is video game companies, they have the same name, but the people inside come and go. And so those companies aren't the same companies. How much time has it been since Arkham City? And then Arkham Knight, people had problems with. I mostly love my problems with Arkham Knight are mainly that they didn't bring back Paul Dini, my favorite Batman writer, and they just he found out through Twitter, which is crazy that they were making a
Wow.
third game. Yeah. And so I didn't mind the Batmobile sections. It was actually the
Right.
story in the game that I had a
Two
problem with.
gripes with Knight is story, the reveal of Jason Todd
Mhm.
really didn't pan out for me, and a bit too much of the Batmobile.
I didn't like the Riddler
Those are
Batmobile
small
stuff.
gripes.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Those are small gripes, I say, because they elevated the combat, the stealth to a whole new. They upgraded everything from City, like to a real extent. And because people were complaining about the Batmobile so much, people didn't notice like the significant. I feel as if people didn't notice the significant upgrades that game had to the overall Batman experience. Like if it didn't have the Batmobile, people would notice that this game was such a groundbreaking and improved so much in Arkham City gameplay.
Yeah, I saw a graphic recently. My least favorite one, I give a lot of gripe to it, was Arkham Origins, which wasn't even made by Rocksteady. But I saw
I love that one. I love the story.
You're not alone. I hated it because it was riddled with game-breaking bugs, and it
Yeah,
still
I've heard
is.
that.
I still get notifications on Steam being like, "Hey, this is still broken, by the way." And I'm like, "Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?" And
So
I
it's
also
more of a technical problem, not the game itself, you know.
I also hate how they didn't bring in Kevin Conroy because he was too old. Do you remember that? And then they didn't bring in Mark Hamill. They got Troy Baker to do the Joker for no reason. But yeah, so anyway, I saw a graphic that was like best atmosphere is Asylum, best story is City, best gameplay is Night, and best boss fights are Origins. And I'm like, you know what? I can't disagree with that. And it's really impressive that this franchise has had a best in every category. Because yes, Arkham Origins, while I give it crap, the Deathstroke fight was awesome.
Ooh.
The Bane fight was awesome. So yeah, best boss fights. But
no, I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
But you look at Suicide Squad here, and this is what I'm saying, is that these aren't the same people internally making this game. And on top of that, what's that you hear? You better Warner Brother, because Warner Brothers is going to also be coming in and forcing. They announced recently that they're making all their games live service games. The upcoming Wonder Woman game.
I have that in the tabs. Yes.
But sorry, spoilers. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Burke, who pointed out a huge problem with this game. It needs a fucking internet connection. It's Suicide Code.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. An internet connection is required to play Suicide Code. That is bullshit. That is complete and utter turd. I don't know why they would do that.
This isn't the same company that made the Arkham trilogy. They have the same name. It's technically the same. Blizzard fans, I'm a lifelong Blizzard fan. You should know this. It's not the same Blizzard. It's not the same Rocksteady. This is going to be a total nightmare. I don't know how they don't look at what happened with Avengers and then change this completely. How do they look at Avengers and be like, yeah, we're going to do exactly that?
I have a theory that's why they delayed it. So you can put, because they did recently add that they did recently add like, okay, you can play by yourself this game, but you still need an internet connection for some reason. And yeah, Nathan brings up a great point here. They made Deadshot black, and they said you thought in Arkham City it was a fake Deadshot.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I hate that shit, man. I hate that shit. Like, why not just why not just make a different character? You've already established that Deadshot is Frenchie Deadshot. just if you wanna have a black guy or whatever, I'm trying to think of like a black villain they could have had off the top of my
They
head.
want to make it more in line with the movies. That's
Yes.
typical. That's just typical.
Yeah, and as a DC fan, I just gotta say, like, I don't like Suicide Squad. Like,
No.
they're not likable characters. They've never been enjoyable characters, like in anything. Even like their best stuff is some of their animated films, and those are mediocre. So to base a whole in live service, big budget, several times delayed model off the fucking Susan. The Suicide Squad, it's just like this is a train wreck. And also Sweet Baby's writing this one, and if you look at any gameplay, you can clearly see it. I tweeted that out, that it's like just look at 5 seconds of gameplay and you see Sweet Baby all over it.
Sweet Baby and Suicide Squad kill Justice League, did you say? Oh,
Sweet Baby is writing this game as well. Well, they have a hand in it. Just
really?
Yep, they do. It's actually on their website. If you go to Sweet Baby Inc. So yeah, they're completely partnershiped with Warner Brothers, and I don't have confirmation, but I would bet money that Sweet Baby had a hand in Gotham Knights as well. If you know anything about that one.
Yes, I do. Oh,
But yeah, if you go to Sweet Baby Inc. or the website,
James,
you know what is listed.
You know what I think you just confirmed the 4chan leaks.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear the story of the 4chan leaks?
Hit it up, man. Yeah, no, I'll send you the Sweet Baby website. Suicide Squad is front and center, right below Alan Wake, right below God of War, Spider-Man. It's right there.
God.
So yeah, no, this game's going to be a disaster on a gameplay front, on a story front, visual front. It looks like a nightmare. I can't wait for this to die. Personally, I'm going to enjoy this trash fire. The only thing I hate, yeah, there it is. The only thing that I absolutely hate.
Oh my God.
Script writing right there. Banter, cutscenes, barks, audio logs. So all the dialogue, pretty much all the back and forth dialogue is Sweet Baby. The only thing I really hate about this game, I'd be laughing, but the reason this causes me pain is they have the audacity to make this my beloved Batman's final performance, Kevin Conroy.
Oh no.
I love Kevin Conroy. He's Batman to me. And this is his last performance as Batman.
Listen,
no.
Right. So the story of this game is apparently Brainiac takes control of Metropolis. He mind controls
Superman villain. Sorry.
Yeah. And mind controls all the Justice League. They're killing everything in sight. Even Batman and stuff like that. Wonder Woman, not there for some reason. I don't know if she just went on a hike.
No.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is in the game and she looks like a man. She looked like a man.
Yeah, for some reason Wonder Woman is not brain controlled. Because why not? The other Justice League members are. And yeah, essentially you do actually get to kill some Justice League members. Well, from what I'm pretty sure, Wonder Woman kills Superman in this game.
Really? Oh, that's in the 4chan leaks. Oh my God.
Yes, and Batman. There's a boss fight with Batman. He gets stabbed in the neck, and he slowly bleeds out and tells the Suicide Squad to use the Flashpoint protocol to restart everything because Brainiac is totally taking over. And yeah, at the end of the game, they use the Flashpoint. But yeah, they all right. I forgot about this. They do kill off the Flash at the beginning of the game. I think he's decapitated or something because Boomerang hates the Flash so much. And Batman says to them in his dying breaths, use the Lazarus pit on him and then activate the Flashpoint protocol.
Are you?
Those are the 4chan leaks. And I think
it makes sense.
And I think they're right.
I never doubt 4chan.
Sweet Baby Inc. And Wonder Woman helps them a lot. Because she's the strong woman.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Those are what the story of the game is. I hate the fact that they have to use the Flashpoint protocol, and they're actually doing this. They're actually going to kill the Justice League like this in such an embarrassing way, with Batman just being stabbed in the neck. Yeah.
The Suicide Squad, the most unlikable, insufferable characters ever, are taking out the entire Justice League,
Like
the most
we wanted
likable,
to play
beloved.
as Superman, not as people who get to
Yes.
kill Superman. Like,
Do you
the premise
remember
is
playing
flawed.
Arkham Knight? And like, I remember playing Arkham Knight, and they announced that was the final Batman game, and I was like, oh
Mm.
my god, what's next? And in Arkham Knight, there's a bunch of LexCorp
LexCorp.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna do Superman. They're gonna do a Superman game, and then instead
And
of
Lex was trying to buy Wayne Cup.
yeah, that's right. And so I was like, oh, you have the gadget wheel on your D-pad or whatever, so it's going to be more of a superpower wheel. So you swap between, laser eyes and ice breath and all that stuff. And then I was thinking, I'm like, you do that, and then you do like a Wonder Woman game, and then you do a Justice League game. And that was going to be mind-blowing. That was the golden days. And no, here's where we are. It's dead. I hate modern gaming. Someone's doing it right. I love you,
Yeah.
Nintendo. Miyamoto, marry me. But no, this is awful. If it wasn't for Nintendo, I wouldn't play anything new, folks. This is just awful.
Yeah. I reckon those 4chan leaks are true.
Yeah.
Now that I'm hearing that Sweet Baby Ing has a hand in it. It just sounds like I recommend the video on my channel to kind of get a better idea. And it just sounds like the wacky kind of crazy Suicide Squad game where people are dying left, right, and center, and then they're undoing it all with the flashpoint. To me, it sounds true.
Yeah.
And I'm worried.
4chan's never wrong, folks. So it's true. We talked about Sweet Baby so much, and like my source on all the Sweet Baby stuff was I go on 4chan, and I saw that stuff, and I'm like, hold the phone, and we got to talk about this. Oh my god! So yeah, no, I salute you, V. Salute you, Pole. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and here's the Zaslav piece of news to go alongside with Suicide Squad. It's just like, wait till you see the Suicide Squad numbers, Zaslav, and we'll see if you carry on with this philosophy of live service games. James, what are your thoughts about this?
They're dead. They're dead. Video games are dead, and it's over. This is just corporate greed. This is out of touch corporate greed. How is it that Warner Brothers used to be my favorite publishers for a while? They did so many amazing games because they make Batman games, superhero games based on all my beloved DC franchises. They're in control of Mortal Kombat, which is my favorite fighting game franchise by a landslide. That's now garbage. And they also did the Fear games. Fear is my favorite horror game of all time. So there was a time that I loved Warner Brothers, and it's amazing that a company that has been making video games that were quality for so long, that they just fall into this corporate greed trap, and they're so out of touch. I don't think these people play games, understand gaming culture or anything. They just see money. But we already had the canary in the coal mine with Avengers. We know that this is going to be a complete and colossal failure, and I can't wait for it to be. I can't wait for you to eat your own words, David, because it's gonna fail. It's gonna fail. Like, no one's gonna like this game. They're unlikable characters in a live service game with a horrible written story by Sweet Baby that looks disgusting. There's nothing likable, and because it is live service, that means that they have to play the story safe, and nothing has to matter. Like you said, Flashpoint, they're going to do the Flashpoint thing. That's because they have to keep this game going. I'm a lifelong World of Warcraft fan. You can't do too much to rattle the cage. You can't do too much to change things because you have to keep the basic vanilla game flowing. So they want this in their brains. They think this game's going to go on for 20 years, and they're insane. Like, this game's going to be dead in a year. It'll probably break even, but then no one's going to buy their, in-game tokens and all that stuff. No one's going to care about the DLC, and their player base after a week or 2 weeks is just going to tank. So I'm here for the suffering. I can't wait. Look at Nintendo. They still are making single player, short, amazing quality experiences, and people are eating it up. This is why the Switch prints money, and that's why they are still just working on the Switch, which runs worse than an Xbone, a base Xbone, but everyone wants quality gaming. It doesn't matter how much money you pour into it. It doesn't matter like what kind of tricks you try to get your corporate greed. People just want quality content, and that's not what Warner Brothers is producing anymore. You have me angry, True Pop. You got me riled.
I completely agree with you with everything you just said. This is just a gimmick This is just thinking like, oh, we'll get more money from live service games. Like, look how live service games are doing with Call of Duty, for instance, and Warzone. It's like, is those
Yeah.
games any fun anymore? Not really, not particularly. Like,
I think the last Call of Duty is like the worst rated Call of Duty maybe ever. I remember
because
Ghost
they merged
was
the
really low
campaign
rated.
with
Yeah.
Warzone, is from what I heard.
Oh god.
And that
Yeah.
is stupid on a whole different level. Like, literally,
Yeah.
I am a guy who enjoys his single player experience, and to hear this is absolute pain and cancer to me as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love both.
Look,
I love single player and multiplayer, but like to use your greed to try to merge them all together is asinine, and it's
Mhm.
failed constantly. So it's ridiculous.
but going back maybe to some hopeful news, there was a Wonder Woman game announced long ago with just one cinematic trailer for it. And
Hmm.
these are rumored features of it. It's the same team behind Shadow of War Mordor team,
Hmm.
and I'm liking the sound of it. Open world single player game, third person action adventure, features original story, has Nemesis system. That Nemesis system was pretty good. Not a live service. So bit of a contradiction here, Zaslav. Like if this is not a live service game, but more like in games like this, please. I hope this is true.
I'm surprised to hear this not a live service because I swear that I heard that it is going to be a live service. Maybe Warner Brothers having an internal battle whether or not to force this. Maybe Monolith is pushing back on it. Maybe because I swear I heard that it was going to be live service, but there hasn't been really any trailers or
Yeah.
images or anything, right? So this is very early looks, and so I hope you're right. I actually love this team. I mentioned it. This is the team behind Fear, which that was way back in
I
2005.
do
But
have that in my Steam library.
you have to play Fear. It's my favorite horror game of all time, one of my favorite shooters of all time, and it's also the best AI I've ever fought in a game ever. I love Fear so much. But yeah, so they're most recently known for the Middle Earth Shadows of Mordor series. But yeah, they did Fear 1 and 2. They also did Condemned, which are great horror games. So we'll see, but
Remains to be seen.
they're under Warner Brothers, so I think Warner Brothers is gonna force their way into this one too. They're probably gonna have crossover content with Suicide Squad, pre-order bonuses, tokens, all that gobbledygook.
Yeah.
I don't. So
Yeah.
you're hopeful though for this?
If it's a Shadow of War team, I'm interested. Definitely catches my eye. But again, it's just contradictory to the statements that we've heard beforehand. So which is it?
Yeah.
So I'm doubtful that the live service game is accurate, but I hope most of it is true. And yeah, that would essentially wrap it up for in terms of news. Not optimistic for the future in terms of W games, but hey. Listen, I was so hoping for the Arkham Origins remake, or no, not remake, remaster. At least remaster. They remastered Asylum, City, I guess Night to some extent for the PS4. What I don't understand why Origins is just out of the loop. Like we've been theorizing forever, and literally Origins introduced the Suicide Squad in a cutscene, so people are theorizing maybe they'll release a Origins remaster alongside Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, because it connects to the Arkhamverse story. Doesn't seem like it's going to be the case though.
No, I don't think they would do that because they would be worried that that game would then pull away from potential players into Suicide Squad. And because Suicide Squad's a live service game, it's not only about getting those sales, but it's also about retaining a player base. So in a marketing brain or in a publisher brain, they would be committing Suicide Squad to give you another game to play instead of their game that they want you in. They want you to live in Suicide Squad, which is, I can't wait for the fire. But yeah, no, Arkham Origins does need a remaster because I'm not a fan of it. I like the Christmas atmosphere in the boss fights, but I think it has a lot of problems. It's got a lot of bugs, and so it could actually use a remaster. I don't think it's going to happen though, because if you remember, because I bought Arkham Asylum day one and I was hooked since, but Arkham Origins was really made by Warner Brothers Montreal. They made Warner Brothers Montreal just to make
And
this game because
yeah.
Arkham Knight kept getting delayed because Arkham Knight was such a big scale upgrade from City. So they pretty much, in my opinion, made Arkham Origins to try to tide the fan base over. Warner Brothers was like, you're delaying this game so much. We want to keep the Batman hype up and make sure people don't forget about Arkham. They literally whipped up a new studio just to be like, here's the engine, make a new story, make something to keep the players still engaged. And it's got its fans, it's got its detractors, but it literally existed just to keep you drip feeding Arkham content. So I don't think it's ever going to get attention again, unfortunately. And yeah, there's at least 3, if not more, critical game breaking bugs in that, which are insane. Like, at several points in the game, you might have to restart because of bugs you can enter, and it's criminal that those haven't been patched. These aren't just visual bugs. I mean, like, literally, you will be halted from gameplay, and especially going from City, which is in my opinion, a perfect game. It's a 10 out of 10 experience, to that. It's just like, yeah, it would be a nice thing for them to just say like, hey, we went back and we fixed up for free Arkham Origins, and we, brought some quality of life to it, and, gave it some tender love and care. But they're not gonna. They don't care anymore, especially
Just
after the
one
same
and
studio
done.
made
Yeah.
Gotham Knight. So yeah, it is a one and
Yeah,
done.
I was hoping Gotham Knight would be a sequel of some sort or something, and good God, that it was
A nightmare.
not connected to the Arkhamverse at all. Which
For
is,
some reason, yeah.
I don't know why they decided for original story. I suppose they just wanted to do their own thing, which that game is long and forgotten now. So
Oh yeah,
good for them.
It's dead. I think it's awful, but I think we're gonna look back fondly on Gotham Knight compared to Suicide Squad. It's a terrible game, but
no,
I think
it's similar. It's like a loot shoot 'em.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want loot. I don't want loot in these games. No, just get rid of it.
They don't know what made the Arkham trilogy successful.
The skill tree was fine. All right, the upgrades were fine. All right, I don't want this freaking loot shit. It's ridiculous.
It's insane, man. Yeah. So this is why I live in the past with my games, and I play masterpieces like Spider-Man 2 here.
Yes.
I don't know why everyone hates Spider-Man 2 lately. It's a great game.
I'm gonna get on with that video. I'm just been lazy. It just reminded me to. The more I talk about it, the more I hear about it, the more I'm just tempted to get that video out.
You got to return, True Pop. Return to the Spider-Man traditions.
What about the Spider-Man game? You know, that was good. You could play as Green Goblin in there if you put in like a cheat code towards the end and just fly in a glider. You know,
which one is that?
The Spider-Man game.
In this one? In this one?
Yeah, no, the one before that. The
Spider-Man on the first movie, on the first Tobey Maguire movie.
Yeah. The Spider-Man game.
That was in the era of because I was gonna say because I was listening to your old episodes, and you used to include a little clip from Stan Lee, which was from my childhood Spider-Man game on the PS1, and I love that game as well. I love that game. But yeah, the first Spider-Man movie game, that was in that weird era where they were making games differently for PC and like PS2 and Xbox. It was really early, and so I played it on, I don't know if you know this, but I played the PC version of Spider-Man 1, and it was radically different from what people got on like Xbox, original Xbox. And so it was kind of, I think it was a different dev team, and it was kind of rough and shitty. The same thing happened with the Ang Lee Hulk game. It was a different experience, which that didn't happen very long. So yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the Green Goblin thing. I don't know if that was in my version.
Okay, interesting. All right,
those are blurry memories.
Side tangent. Have you ever played Web of Shadows?
Wait, which one is that? No, I haven't. But I always wanted to play the one that has Noir Spider-Man in it. Is that the one with Noir
Shattered Dimensions?
Okay, that's the one I've always wanted to play, and I never played it. But
it's
yeah, but I think Web of Shadows gets recommended more, but I have not played that one. And yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Wolverine's on the cover and Venom's on the cover. Yeah,
it's what they did with Spider-Man 2, the whole symbiote invasion, but
Mm.
1,000 times better. Because
Okay.
from the story's perspective, just introducing Venom and then doing a symbiote invasion is crazy. There's like a 40-year history between a symbiote invasion and the introduction of Venom, and it just dilutes the antagonism between Peter and Venom, doing like this whole invasion of the world. Oh no, the stakes have raised up of the entire world. How about we have two characters fighting and hating each other? You know, that's what we connect to, characters at the end of the day. These world-ending stakes, I've had enough of them. We see them all over superhero media. You know, all these Chitauri and blue beams in the sky and armies coming in and drones. It's just like, I've had it. I've really had
Yeah.
a world-ending stakes. Give me just a fight between Spidey and Venom. That would go a long way to fix that game's story.
Make
But
character-driven content with self-contained stories
Yes.
for the fans. Yeah.
But
This looks
in Web of
good.
Shadows, it's a already established, antagonism between Venom and Peter, and Peter's already had like the black suit beforehand. It's not
Right.
his first time. So it's like established already Spider-Man game, and it does so many cool things in terms of symbiote designs. I thought the symbiote designs in Spider-Man 2 were ass. In Web of Shadows, they're much better looking. They're much more creative. The combat, I think it is the best combat in any Spider-Man game.
Whoa. Oh my God. Okay. You sold me. I gotta play this. It looks great. Moon Knight's in it. Wilson Fisk is in it. This looks freaking awesome. Okay.
It's fantastic. It's one of it's probably my favorite Spider-Man game. Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because this is usually the
don't
popular
get me wrong.
pick.
You're right. Yeah. But don't get me wrong. Like the voice acting is bad. The Spider-Man, the red Spider-Man suit looks bad. The Spider-Man the main Spider-Man voice actor looks bad. The story is meh, but the combat in it is just so damn good that you never get bored of it. Right? All you do is essentially punch people, but you never get bored of it.
Right. Yeah.
It's so fun. And in Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 Insomniac games, you do get bored of it. It gets repetitive, it gets monotone. But in this game, you just don't. It's that thrilling. It's that exaggerated and comic booky and anime-like in its feel that you just it's like drugs. Like you see flashing lights and you just want to punch more and more.
Well, it's got Steve Blum as Wolverine, which is like the only Wolverine casting ever, which is the right choice. Anytime Steve Blum isn't Wolverine, I'm like, what? What's happening in my ears? This isn't Wolverine. So maybe Spider-Man's rough, and that's probably who you hear the most from. But hey, you got the correct Wolverine, so it can't be that terrible. And Robert Atkin Downs is in it. He's great. And then you have Greg Berger, who's an amazing voice actor, is Wilson Fisk in there. So yeah, it's even where it's at its worst, this game looks good. I think you sold me, sir. I'm down for
I
the Web
highly
of Shadows.
recommend it. Yes.
All right, you play KOTOR, I'll play Web of Shadows, and we'll have a sequel, and we'll go at it.
Listen,
I'm
glad to recommend you Web of Shadows. It's really good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, man.
I'll get to KOTOR eventually. Just stuff to do. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. We've been going on for 2 hours. I don't want to keep you on for too long. I did say 90 minutes, but we went slightly overboard.
This has been great. You can keep me forever. I've been having a blast.
Oh yeah, no, it's been fun. Normally I do like a last minute pitch me a story outro, but because we've been going on for so long, I'll add it into the show. Sorry if you really wanted to do the pitch me a story segment, but
I'm good. We'll do it. I don't even know what that means, but we can do it or not. But yeah,
it was like a segment where we each like pitch a story and like the genre and ESG score is decided by like wheels. It's a little fun game. But we can do that later for
in our KOTOR Web of Shadows game.
Yeah. Game off review, I suppose.
There we go. Yeah.
Joe mentioned, how you doing, mate? Last of Us, if only. Yeah. It's never The Last of Us. It's Last of Us 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
Yeah.
5 and 6. Do you reckon they'll make a third game ever? Last of Us 3?
Well,
With
he's
what?
not Gaben, so he can probably Neil Druckmann can probably count to 20 at least. So yeah, it seems like they're done with Uncharted because it's got too much Amy Hennig in it.
Mhm.
And so I can see a Last of Us 3
Mhm.
once they've milked everyone for their $10 upgrade on the second one. I could see that. I could see that happen, especially with the success of the show as well, because the show's been doing wildly successful. I said this actually in a more
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it'll be successful if they follow the games.
well, yeah. So I do think my prediction is they're going to change some things, not everything, but I think they're going to change some things. In a more positive note, though, I do think like these game studios do see like when something's super successful that they're like, oh, now we need to deliver the next game, and
Yeah.
so I was shocked as a longtime diehard Twisted Metal fan. I was shocked that the show was surprisingly good. I expected garbage. I don't know if you watched the Twisted Metal show, but
I heard
was
it
like,
was good. Yeah.
yeah, as a fan, it was like they're doing things differently, but it's still respecting the source material. And it's like, who cares about the Twisted Metal source material unless you're insane like me? And so it was like, what? You're actually doing the fans service and you're doing a good show. I'm excited for season 2. If they do it right, season 2 is going to be great. So now I'm like, oh God, give us a new Twisted Metal game. I am happy if they do a Twisted Metal game based on the show. So maybe we'll see a Last of Us game based on the show as well if it keeps being a success. We'll see. So because yeah, Twisted Metal, that show is more successful than any game, any Twisted Metal game ever. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Give me more Twisted Metal. Give me more Rob Zombie soundtrack.
Definitely.
I'm friggin' in. I am.
All right. Well, we can only hope for good adaptations because we've not been getting too many. But but it's funny because give us a good adaptation of Last of Us 1, but not of Last of Us 2. You can venture off the story. You don't have to adapt it well. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of
no.
funny. Anyway, we'll call it for wraps there. James, would you like to show out your stuff? Essentially, I've put your link tree and YouTube and Twitter in the description
Thanks, man.
below. So if you guys like to follow James, do check him out in the links below. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I'm one half of Melee Games here. Hey, I'm Melee James. We are doing things all over the internet. I am kind of the streaming half of it, so I play whatever I want when I want. You could catch me last night where I freaking played Super Mario RPG until 2 a.m. and then I'm like, I need to sleep to go hang out with True Pop. The other half of me, Melee K, is about to go live on a show with Devil Made Me Do It, his Get Ranked show, where she's going to be ranking Thanksgiving dishes in a second here. So you can catch. I won't be there, but Kay will be there very shortly. Tomorrow, I am not a fan of Mortal Kombat anymore, but our buddy Jason was kind enough to gift me a copy of Mortal Kombat 1. So tomorrow we're taking a first look at Mortal Kombat 1, and I am not looking forward to it. Pretty much, if someone gifts me a game, it means so much to me. So I'm like, okay, guys, I will play whatever stuff you bring upon me. So Mortal Kombat 1 tomorrow night. And then our big ticket thing, December 1st, the Melee Game Awards. You can vote in the Melee Game Awards over on our Twitter at Melee Games. It's the pinned tweet. Jeff Keighley, we're coming for you. Our Game Awards are going to be better December 1st, baby. That's Melee Games right now. Thank you, True Pop, for letting me scream.
All right. No worries, mate. You can scream to your heart's content. A Game Awards, nothing on there that I'm like, Alloway 2 got Game of the Year nominated. Like, good God.
Yeah.
It's just surprising with that. Yeah, and you guys can obviously look forward to my Spider-Man 2 analysis video. I am currently in the process of making it. I have also the link below to my video covering the 4chan story. I've posted it in the chat here. I'll probably post it in the description below. The 4chan story leaks of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And now that James has told me that Sweet Baby Inc. is involved, I reckon these links are like 80% true. They're pretty bad. And they sound, yeah, the title of the video is The Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League leaks are stupid enough to be real. And the more we find out this game, the end, the more we realize that it is. Like I remember, like the first few images of showing like the hub, and yeah,
Yeah.
those are in the video as well. And it's just they've been copyright striking those images.
Which means it's true. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all true. That happened to me with Beetlejuice. Is I posted a screenshot. I'm like, "Is this the new Beetlejuice?" And Warner Brothers struck me down. I'm like, "Well, just confirmed it."
That just it's funny how they do that. So yeah, if during the release of that game, check out that video. And yeah, I will be streaming with Blabbering Collector on Tuesday evening, nights, wherever you're watching from, later on in the day, in the evening of the day, I suppose. It's gonna be a midnight 30 past midnight my British time. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I've been quite liking the Harry Potter movies. It's going to be a new segment of the show called Character Study, in which I have a question of I can't speak, a list of questions that me and the guests will try to answer about the franchise, and I'm expanding it to the Harry Potter world because I think Harry Potter is not enough to explore. Normally, it's just a character study, but I think it'd be better to explore all of Harry Potter to do this segment for. But yeah,
Did you
I'm very
play
much looking forward
Hogwarts
to it.
Legacy, by the way? Did you play it?
No, I've seen people play it, but I haven't played it myself.
It's quite good. It's actually a nice. It's probably the last good Warner Brothers game. So if you're having fun,
That's the depressing thought.
yeah, there you go. There's my tagline: the last good Warner Brothers game. So if after you're done the movies, dude, that would actually be cool. I'd be curious your take on. I know Blabs doesn't like it, but she is a die-hard Harry Potter fan. So she's like me with Star Wars, where it's like this thing was wrong here, this, and very nitpicky, right? But as a casual Harry Potter fan, a very casual Harry Potter fan, I'm like, the gameplay is really fun. The new characters they introduce are actually really good. So I think you might have a good time once you're done the movies. If you want more, you might love it.
All right. Anyway, guys, that will be all for today. I will see you all guys next time. See ya.